Good afternoon. My name is Resilient Father. I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Jacques.
Hello, what's going on?
Good afternoon. I hope everybody's doing well. This is the start of a podcast, something that I've been trying to think about doing. So, this is the first episode of hopefully many to come. Luckily, Mr. Jacques here is a really good friend of mine. And one thing that I really want to start focusing on is helping men speak up about mental health. Um, Obviously, mental health for most people is very difficult to talk about, but especially between men, we're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be leaders of our families, and we're not allowed to show weakness. And I think the stigma behind that kind of causes a lot of us, especially me, to kind of hold things in and then suffer long term in quiet. And so I have Mr. Phillips here, um, Mr. Jack Phillips. His first name is Philip, to kind of help me through this process. And so I want to share a little bit about myself. I'm one of seven kids. I was born in 1990, and I live in California. Um, Mr. Jack, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, yeah, good afternoon. Jacques Phillips. I am a Air Force veteran, did 24 years in the military, retired now, enjoying life. In my free time now, I usually help people either with their physical fitness as a personal trainer, health and nutrition, health coach, and I also see how I can contribute, bring value to people by doing photography and drone work. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and just out here loving life.
Oh, you're gonna have to give me some free photography there, some free sessions.
I got you, buddy.
That's a beautiful American flag you got there, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. That is actually my, as what we call in the military, my retirement shadow box.
Oh, that's nice.
So I had that made by another buddy in the military that I was stationed with in New Mexico as
Okay.
my, yeah, it's kind of my parting gift from the military to encompass my military career. He made that for me.
I haven't traveled much, but I have gone through New Mexico, driving to, I believe, to Texas. I moved out there
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, and New Mexico is different. It's a lot of clay-looking houses. I don't know if I don't know if that's the norm everywhere, but that was just a little different.
That's probably going to be your norm in the Arizona, New Mexico area, basically the desert-ish area. That's their
Okay.
style of. I think it's called the Pueblo style of homes.
Yeah, very nice looking. Uh, but anyways, back to the topic on hand. One of the things that I've been trying to work on myself is trying to be nicer to people. I can be you know, cold-hearted towards people just because, obviously the way I was raised was really tough. And so I'm trying to work on not only improving myself, but trying to be nicer to people, to try to give them some positive influence, not so much negative, because, we already deal with a lot of negativity in this world. So that's one thing that I'm trying to focus on myself. What about you?
um, Focusing on being better, 1% better every day. So I focus on trying to be a better version of myself each and every day, and not by doing like sweeping changes, being a completely different me, just changing something 1% about myself every day. So at the end of the year, if I can do this every day, I've changed 365%. So that's basically my goal for each day. Just change myself at least 1%. So do something that's going to better myself.
Okay.
And I feel you. We have enough negativity in the world and around people. So being positive is one of the great things we can do.
Yeah, I think, like you said, positivity obviously can always benefit most of us. One thing I have started doing is, I had seen this video online. I think it was TikTok or Instagram, and this guy was passing out little ducks to random people. He would go on walks, and there's little trinkets. And so I actually looked into it, and I ordered like 1,000 off Amazon. And every once in a while, I'll give random people. I just carry in my pocket. Hey, would you like a duck? And they glow in the dark. Um, Obviously, if there's parents around, I ask permission, to give it to them, so they give it to their kids, and the kids are really excited for that. So my kids also, they love. giving them out to people whenever they see them if we're out and about. So it's one thing.
Oh, I think that's a cool idea. It's kind of along the Jeep ducks, the
Yep.
ducking
Hmm.
Jeep ducks, kind
Yeah.
of along that. But yours, I like your idea better, and to get your kids involved, because I'm sure if I was walking around and somebody was randomly giving me a duck for no reason, especially a kid, I'm gonna smile, and that's probably something that's gonna make somebody's day and a good positive impact.
Yeah, for
But
sure, for sure.
yeah.
But there's one thing now that we kind of opened up a little bit, kind of get more to the nitty gritty of things, and kind of I'm gonna open up myself a little bit. You don't have to, but if you want to share, you're more than welcome to share. Um, but I kind of grew up in a very abusive household, whether it was physical, mental, emotional. It's kind of something we kind of grew up with. From childhood all the way to pretty much adulthood, and essentially, that kind of made me the person that I am today. And I just kind of started kind of talking about it, within the last 2 months, kind of opening it up to people about it. And that's why I'm really inspired to kind of like, you know, give people the opportunity to kind of open up on things, because in my line of work, suicide, I know it's a word we don't really talk about. It occurs very often, and I don't want people to have to make that permanent decision. And so I think by hopefully starting this channel, giving people a chance to kind of open up to other people and kind of talk about it would kind of deter them from doing something so personal and permanent like that. So I don't know if you've ever dealt with stuff like that or know people that have kind of dealt with that stuff.
Oh man, um, I'm glad you're doing that, and I know I've been one of the people you've talked to about some things, which has been awesome. And I know last year, I went through a lot, and I was able to get to talk to you, and I talked to some other people. I do have some people I get to talk with about some things. Like last year, I didn't know that all this time I suffered from depression and anxiety. I just thought I didn't feel like hanging out with people, and I would get nervous, and I ended up finding out during that time, finding out the definition of depression and saw all the symptoms and realized that I've been suffering from depression. Last year was a lot. It was a certain time or certain incidents that triggered it. But talking with a therapist, I've learned that I've suffered from depression throughout the years of my military career. I just didn't label it or get treated about it or didn't even talk about it. It was one of those things that I dealt with it and then I moved on. And in your line of work, I do understand because your line of work and me being active duty are a lot of similar in ways. I've dealt with actual suicide cases. I've lost friends through suicide and different positions and jobs in the military. I've had to deal with maybe people I supervised or people I knew that, as we said, take a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So I've dealt that. It's tough, and I do understand like, when you're opening, you were talking about how as men we're seen to be tough, heads of the household, leading. We're not allowed to be, in a way, people say it'll be soft. We're not allowed to be open, and we need a channel to talk. And our mental health is important as we start to go through, and we want to stop these things. As a veteran, there's a lot of there's a lot of things that we deal with either uh, in active duty, off active duty, because of deployments, and there's a lot of times there's programs in place to help us, but a lot of us don't reach out. A lot of us don't know, and the stigma of being masculine and all tough, we all hold it in, and it rots us from the inside. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm hoping this podcast will go on and it'll give people a chance to, not people, men a chance to reach out and talk, and maybe they will reach out to their spouses and their spouses will talk because men are known for it, but I know there are some women that they got to close everything in and they got to seem a certain way, and it shouldn't be that way. We should be able to talk about things and not be ridiculed, and not be can't think of the words, but looked down upon because we might be having problems in our lives. And I how you grow up is a lot of a lot of how it affects you. I grew up in a very disciplined, strict, and structured home. Um, I fortunately, thank God, I was not abused. Maybe in this day and age, people will think it was abuse because I got my butt whooped when I was younger.
Hmm.
But I was able to do, or I had to deal with a lot of stress, and my parents at the time actually did a lot of fighting, drinking, and fighting, and so forth. So I grew up with that in a when I was younger, and fortunately, I got to see my parents move away from that. But it built me into someone that can handle a lot of stress and kind of some pain. But it also made me how I was raised made me very disciplined. And nowadays, yeah, that can be seen as abusive, but I still kind of see it as no, it's kind of discipline. I never got beat for no reason. There was always a good reason behind it, or at least there was always a reason behind it, whether I liked it or not. There was a reason behind it, and it
Yeah,
molded me to the person I
man, I would have loved to had a reason, but I was a good kid. Unfortunately, my dad was just who he was, and it just, it is what it is. But I don't want to focus too much on that because essentially, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility as a father myself to, give my kids the best version of myself. And luckily, they don't have to experience, you know, realistically, not much compared to what I had to. I feel like I'm doing a really good job, and through hard work, essentially that's where I'm at right now. But I do appreciate you sharing things with me, and hopefully, I don't want to get too much into it because I want to be able to have some stuff for the next podcast. But we're going to end up going to wrapping this up, and we'll leave you guys for episode 2. Mr. Jack Phillips, thank you for coming with me today, and we'll see you guys next time.
am. Hey, thank you. Glad I can be here, and glad I can be on this journey with you.
All right, buddy, you take care. All right, guys, thank
Hey,
you.
see y'all.